Welcome, traveler. Tonight, we will sail across the cold northern seas and step into the world of the Viking raider. We will follow the steady rhythm of their days, explore the quiet discipline of their training, venture into distant lands, and reflect on the final seasons of their lives. This is not the tale of a single Reddit. It's the soft, steady unfolding of a life shaped by the sea, the axe, and the endless horizon. Prepare to lose yourself in this 2-hour journey, where the creak of wooden ships and the gentle lapping of the waves become the pulse of history. The first light of dawn creeps over the distant mountains, casting a cold, pale glow across the fjord. You awaken slowly, wrapped in thick furs that keep the chill at bay. The wooden beams of your longhouse creak softly as the fire from the hearth smolders low, its embers whispering in the quiet morning. You rise and step outside into the crisp air. Your breath forms soft clouds that vanish quickly in the northern breeze. The village is stirring. It's a soft clatter of tools, the quiet murmur of voices. The lowing of cattle. These sounds gently mark the beginning of another day. Your first task is to tend to your weapons. Your axe, the iron blade, slightly dulled from yesterday's practice, is carefully sharpened with rhythmic strokes against the whetstone. You inspect your shield, the wood firm, the leather straps worn but strong. You join your comrades by the shore where your longship waits. Its carved prow rises like a dragon, poised to cut through the sea. The sail is furled, the oars prepared. The ship is not merely transported, it is a trusted companion. Together, you row into the open water. The rhythm of the oars is steady and calming. Pull, breathe, glide. Pull, breathe, glide. Hours pass in this quiet work, broken only by the occasional soft conversation or a shared song, sung low to preserve your strength. You stop on distant shores to rest, to cook simple meals over small fires. Dried fish, coarse bread, perhaps a bit of smoked pork shared among the crew. There is time to mend clothing, to patch sails, to repair oars worn by the sea's steady resistance. Much of life as a Viking raider is waiting. Waiting for favorable winds, waiting for the right moment to strike, waiting for the sea to grant you safe passage. The battles are brief, but the days in between are long and quiet. When a raid begins, it is swift and efficient. You step from the ship into shallow waters, the cold lapping at your boots. You move quickly, with practiced precision, knowing that the faster you move, the safer you are. But the fight is not the heart of your life. It is the preparation, the journey, the waiting, the returning. As the sun sets, you row once more, the ship rocking gently beneath you. The sea is calm, the sky wide and soft with dusk. You drift into sleep beneath a shared woolen blanket. The oar still within reach, the steady rhythm of the waves your lullaby. You know that tomorrow will bring more rowing, more waiting, and the quiet comfort of familiar tasks. Your journey as a Viking raider did not begin on the sea. It began in the village, in the quiet, repetitive rhythms of training. The skills of a warrior are built over years, slowly, patiently, and often without excitement. Each morning, after tending to the small duties of village life, you gather with others in an open field. The grass is worn flat from many seasons of practice. You grip your axe firmly, its weight familiar, its balance known to your hands. Training is not a contest of strength, but of endurance. You swing the axe again and again, practicing the same motions until they become as natural as breathing. The shield is raised and lowered in steady repetition, its weight pressing against your arm until you no longer feel it. You spar with your comrades, using wooden weapons, the blows carefully controlled, the movements measured. Bruises are common, but these are quiet injuries, accepted without complaint. Your elders watch, sometimes correcting your stance with a gentle hand, sometimes offering only a silent nod when your form is sound. They have fought many battles, and they know that true strength comes not from glory, but from the quiet mastery of routine. You learn to read the sea, to sense the shift of the wind, to tie knots swiftly and surely. You learn how to row without tiring, how to climb the ship's rigging with care, how to mend sails with rough, steady stitches. In the evenings, you sit by the fire, listening to the old stories. Tales of distant lands, of fierce battles, of wise leaders. But these stories are not told with loud boasts. They are shared softly, passed down like quiet treasures. The discipline of training shapes your life as much as the journey itself. It is the rhythm of days spent, sharpening, practicing, preparing. Key, it is the steady patience of a life lived in readiness. When you finally board the longship for your first journey, the longship glides across the open water, its wooden hull creaking softly with each gentle rise and fall of the waves. The wind fills the square sail, but often your hands must grip the oar, pulling in steady rhythm. Rowing is not frantic and is patient, persistent, the pulse of the voyage. The sea is a vast, shifting landscape. Some days the water is calm, mirroring the sky like polished glass. Other days the waves rise and fall like the steady breathing of some great, slumbering creature. You learn to move with it, to trust its rhythms, to endure its whims. Time aboard the ship is long. You share quiet meals with your companions, smoked fish, hard cheese, coarse bread, eaten in silence or with low, murmured conversation. There are no grand feasts here, only the simple necessity of sustenance. The sea teaches patience. You pass the time repairing gear, mending torn clothing, smoothing the edges of your axe handle with careful hands. The creak of the mast, the slap of the waves against the hull, the cry of distant seabirds, these are the sounds that accompany you, soft and persistent. Sometimes, storms rise without warning. The sky darkens, the wind howls, the waves crash against the ship. You grip the oar tighter, working with the rhythm of the crew to keep the vessel steady. Fear flickers quietly, but you move through it, your body remembering the endless hours of training. And then, as quickly as it began, the storm passes. The sea calms. You bail out the water, retie the ropes, and settle once more into the long, steady journey. Nights on the ship are cold. You huddle beneath rough blankets, your body pressed close to your comrades for warmth. The sky above is vast, studded with countless stars. You trace familiar constellations with your eyes, the stories of your ancestors written across the heavens. The horizon stretches endlessly, but you do not long for land. The ship is your home, the sea your quiet companion. The sea welcomes you home, its steady rhythm unchanged, its gentle waves guiding your longship back to the familiar fjord. As your village comes into view, the soft smoke from the hearth fires rises to meet the pale northern sky. The long journey has ended, but your life's quiet rhythms continue. You help unload the ship's simple goods, a few coins, some finely woven cloth, perhaps a rare trinket or two. The spoils of raiding are not always gold and silver. They are tools, spices, stories, and time earned to spend with your kin. Your axe, once your constant companion, is carefully hung within your longhouse, its blade still sharp but resting. In these quiet seasons, you marry. The same patient lessons you've once learned are now passed on, slowly, gently, through repetition and quiet example. Your evenings are spent around the hearth, weaving new sails, repairing the hull of your ship, listening to the soft crackle of the fire as stories flow like the steady tide. Some stories are yours to tell, but most are retellings of older tales. Tales that bind the generations together, like the sturdy ropes of your longship. You walk the shoreline often, feeling the pull of the sea. Its salty air fills your lungs, its rhythm still steady within your bones. You know you will sail again, but you no longer yearn for distant shores as you once did. The life of a Viking raider is not constant battle, it's a cycle of journeys and returns, of waiting and moving, of tending and teaching. It is a life shaped by the sea, not by the brief clangor of raids. And in the soft quiet of these seasons, you come to understand that the true rhythm of your life has always been the slow, patient pull of the oar, the creak of the ship, the steady breath of the sea, where the flicker of firelight dances gently across faces hardened by the sea and softened by shared stories. This is not merely a shelter, it is a home, a refuge, and a forge where bonds stronger than iron are quietly shaped. The life of a Viking warrior is not one of solitary glory, but of deep companionship, a brotherhood born from shared hardship and mutual dependence. The sea is a vast, indifferent expanse, and only through unity can survival be found. Each morning, as the village stirs, you meet your fellow warriors for simple yet important rituals. You exchange quiet greetings, your breath misting in the cool air, and begin the small acts that prepare both body and mind. The sharpening of blades is a careful, meditative process, the rhythmic scraping of stone on steel echoing softly through the room. In the close quarters of the longhouse, you share meals, smoked fish, barley, porridge, dried fruits. The food is plain but sustaining. Its conversation is low and steady, punctuated by the occasional soft laugh or thoughtful silence. You listen as your comrades recount memories from past voyages, their voices steady and calm. There is no need for boasting here, only the sober reflection on moments of danger, of narrow escapes, of comrades lost and victories won. The names of fallen brothers are spoken with reverence, a quiet acknowledgement that life is fragile, yet precious. Your daily training is often a shared endeavor. In the open air, you practice formations that will carry you through battle-to shield wall, a moving barrier of wooden shields held tight against the oncoming tide. You learn to trust the arms beside you, to move as one living thing. The clang of wooden swords meeting, the grunt of exertion, and the shuffle of feet on earth form a steady rhythm, a wordless communication of unity. But the bonds go beyond the battlefield. During long voyages, when the sea stretches endless and the nights grow cold and lonely, it is these ties that warm you. You huddle close on deck beneath rough-woven blankets, sharing stories and quiet songs, your voices low and steady to preserve energy. The sharing of duties also reinforces this brotherhood. Each warrior has a role. Some steer the ship, others keep watch, while many row in unison. The work is demanding, but together it is bearable, even comforting. It's a sound of coordinated effort. The synchronous dip and rise of oars becomes a lullaby of endurance. At times, the weight of loss presses heavily when a brother falls, whether to the unforgiving sea, a rival blade, or illness. The community mourns quietly. Rituals are held with solemnity, and care stones may be raised, a mead hall filled with gentle remembrance. Grief is never loud, but it is deeply felt, binding the survivors in mutual care. In quieter moments, the longhouse offers solace. The scent of burning pine fills the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of leather and wool. You feel the rough texture of your worn cloak, the steady warmth of a wooden bench beneath you, the steady glow of the hearth's fire. Here, the harshness of the outside world softens into a rhythm of shared presence. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine the strength that comes from such quiet brotherhood. The knowledge that though the sea may be vast and the dangers many, you are not alone. You rest knowing your companions are near, their steady breathing, a comfort in the darkness. And with that thought, the world outside your window grows still. The crackling fire dims, the longhouse settles into peaceful quiet, and you drift into sleep, carried gently on the tide of brotherhood. Picture the dawn breaking over a calm northern ford. The water surface is smooth, like glass, reflecting the soft pastel colors of the morning sky. Moored gently against a rocky shore lies a longship, a slender, graceful vessel carved from sturdy oak, built to glide silently through the water with the ease of a bird in flight. This longship is more than just a tool of war or transportation. It is the lifeblood of the Viking world, a vessel that carries dreams, survival, and the very essence of a people shaped by the sea. You approach the ship, your footsteps muted on the smooth wooden planks. The ship's hull curves upward at both ends, decorated with subtle carvings, intertwined serpents and dragons, symbols meant to protect and inspire. The craftsmanship is precise, the joints tight, the wood polished by salt and labor. Each plank is carefully shaped to fit, fastened with iron rivets, and sealed with tar to keep out the cold, bracing waters. The keel lies like the backbone of this living thing, strong and unyielding. The longship is light enough to be carried across land when necessary, yet sturdy enough to brave the open ocean. Its shallow draft allows it to glide over rivers and beach on sandy shores, ready to surprise or retreat. You climb aboard and settle into one of the many benches lined along the length of the vessel. Your hands rest on the worn oarlock, and you feel the faint tremor of the ship's wood under your touch, live with the memory of countless voyages. The mast rises tall and proud, supporting a sail woven from thick wool, dyed in muted hues of red or brown. When unfurled, it catches the wind with steady strength, propelling the ship forward over the waves. Most often, it is the synchronized effort of the rowers that drives the longship, each stroke measured and even, quiet song of endurance and coordination. Life aboard the longship is a mixture of routine and alertness. Days at sea are marked by the rhythm of rowing, the endless stretch of sky and water, and the occasional call of seabirds wheeling overhead. The salty air fills your lungs, mingling with the scent of wet wood and tar. Meals are simple, often dried fish or hard bread, eaten quickly and without fuss. The sun's warmth can be deceptive, as the chill from sea spray seeps through clothing. You pull your cloak tighter, the rough wool a comfort against the cold. There is little space for comfort. The benches are hard, and you sit closely to your fellow warriors, sharing the quiet moments between exertion and watchfulness. The sound of the waves lapping against the hull becomes a constant, soothing presence. When night falls, the longship rocks gently beneath you, the stars above a vast tapestry of light. You listen to the soft murmur of your crewmates, the occasional creak of wood, and the rhythm of the tide. Sleep comes in short, peaceful bursts, nestled beneath the thin blanket, wrapped in the shared warmth of your companions. The longship embodies the Viking spirit, resilient, swift, and forever seeking new horizons. It carries you to distant lands and brings you safely home, a faithful companion through storms and calm alike. As you rest your head on the wooden bench, imagine the gentle sway of the ship and the endless whisper of the sea. Let this quiet world of wood and water lull you into a deep and restful sleep. As the long summer days wane, the quiet grip of winter begins to settle over the northern lands. The forests, once vibrant with green and the hum of life, grow still beneath a pale, frost-covered blanket. The fjords freeze at their edges, and a biting chill fills the air, softening footsteps and silencing the usual song of birds. You find yourself back in the village, where the rhythm of life changes with the season. The longship lies safely hauled ashore, its timbers resting after months of journeying. The oars are stacked neatly, the sail carefully folded, tucked away from the dampness that threatens to rot the fibers. Winter is a season of waiting, reflection, and preparation, a quiet time between the storms of summer raids and voyages. The days grow short, and the cold seeps into every corner, demanding new forms of endurance. Inside your longhouse, the fire is your constant companion. Its hearth glows softly, casting flickering shadows on the timber walls. Thick blankets of animal pelts cover the floor, and the air is rich with the scent of burning wood and smoked meats. Your hands are busy with tasks suited to the season, repairing clothes, sharpening tools, and crafting arrows for the hunts to come. The work is slow and methodical, requiring patience rather than haste. Outside, the land seems to hold its breath. Snow muffles the footsteps of those who venture out, and the quiet is profound. The village feels smaller, more intimate, as families huddle close, sharing stories and memories by the firelight. Food is scarce now, and the stores gathered during the warmer months must be carefully rationed. You taste the dryness of preserved fish and the hardness of stored grains, mindful of the fragile balance between hunger and survival. Despite the cold and isolation, there is a steady pulse to life. The rhythm of days marked by dawn's faint light and the early arrival of night encourages reflection and rest. The long hours invite quiet conversation, the sharing of old tales that weave history and myth into a soothing tapestry. Your thoughts turn inward as you prepare for the coming spring, the promise of new journeys, new challenges, and the endless call of the sea. In this long winter, survival is a test of endurance and spirit. The harshness of the season sharpens the contrast with the lively chaos of summer raids, reminding you of the cycles that shape your life. As you settle down beneath your furs, imagine the slow dance of snowflakes outside the small window, the crackle of the fire, and the gentle breath of the village settling into sleep. Let the stillness of winter guide you toward peaceful rest. The dawn breaks softly once more over the fjord, the pale light spilling gently over the rough wooden decks of your longship. After months apart, the familiar faces of your comrades gather around. A quiet brotherhood forged in the harshness of the sea and the trials of battle. Life as a Viking raider is not only shaped by the clash of weapons or the thrill of discovery, but by the enduring connections between those who share this path. You come to know each man, not just as a warrior, but as a companion whose strength and spirit intertwine with your own. The bonds are built slowly, through shared labor and long hours rowing in rhythm to the steady pulse of the sea. The creak of the oars, the soft splash of waves against the hull, and the occasional murmurs of conversation form a subtle background score to your days. During moments of rest on foreign shores, the crew gathers quietly around small fires. The crackling flames throw warm light on faces marked by salt, sweat, and determination. There is a comfort in this simplicity, the unspoken understanding that you rely on each other for survival. You share simple meals, dried fish, coarse bread, and sometimes fresh water from nearby streams. Food tastes richer when eaten in good company, even if the fare itself is humble. There is laughter too, low and steady, a balm against the uncertainty of what lies ahead. In the evenings, stories emerge, told softly in low voices to avoid waking those who sleep nearby. It's tales of ancestors, of great battles, won or lost, of strange lands glimpsed on the horizon. These stories pass from one to another, weave a sense of history and belonging. Trust is the cornerstone of your bond. Each man knows that his life depends on the other's vigilance and courage. You learn to read the smallest gestures, a glance, a shift in posture, signs that signal danger or reassurance. Yet, amid this closeness, there is also space for solitude. Moments when you stand at the prow, watching the endless sea stretch before you, feeling the salt air against your face and the steady beat of your heart. The brotherhood is a living thing, complex, enduring, shaped by hardship and quiet moments alike. It is a source of strength that carries you through the darkest nights and the fiercest storms. As you close your eyes beneath the stars, listen to the soft murmur of voices and the gentle rocking of the ship. Let the steady presence of your comrades lull you into a calm rest, a peaceful surrender to the rhythm of the sea. As our journey with the Viking raider draws to a close, imagine yourself drifting slowly back to shore. The longship's gentle sway eases beneath you, rocking softly like a cradle in a quiet night. The distant stars twinkle faintly overhead, their cool light mingling with the soft sounds of waves kissing the shore. You've walked in the worn sandals of a warrior, felt the weight of axe and shield, and shared the long, patient hours of training and travel. You've witnessed the careful preparation behind each raid, the unspoken bonds among comrades, and the quiet moments that filled the spaces between battles. Though their world was shaped by hardship, by cold seas and fleeting victories, there was also a deep rhythm, a steady pulse of daily life, connection, and endurance. Key is this rhythm that carried them through storms and struggles alike. Now, as you rest, carry with you the calm of those northern waters, the steady beat of oars dipping and rising, the soft crackle of fires under an open sky. Let these images and sounds settle gently around you, easing your mind into quietness. In your own time, may the peace of the fjords and the brotherhood of the longship find their way into your dreams. Okay? May you drift softly, carried by the same steady, enduring rhythm. The rhythm of history, the rhythm of life, and the rhythm of rest. Good night, traveler. Sleep well.